So, without any further ado, it's July is over. It's August.
That month just flew by. It was a blur.
With E3 thrown
just everything, with E3, with our focus tests, play tests, it's just been whipping by.
I like how he still hasn't gotten used to calling it play tests.
I still correct myself every time.
It was a fun month, and now we're in August, and it's back to school time for people, and we are winding down production. I don't know if it's winding down yet, but we're in the final stretch, I should say.
Yeah, final sprint.
Yes.
How's it going?
It's been pretty insane, crazy as usual. To be expected the last few months of production. So with Ratchet and Clank Future, we've been tying up a lot of the loose ends. They say genius is in the details, and man, are there a lot of details. And when you go next gen, there's even more details. So there's details on the details. But there's stuff that we're putting in. Lots of little polish. We've got underwater effects in. So now when Ratchet's underwater, there's some cool lighting effects on the rocks and on the surfaces. We've been improving our liquid gelotonium, which is a gadget that Ratchet uses to fire out jello-like cubes that he can jump on. And that's looking amazing.
How's that for platforming?
Yeah,
I was going to say the same thing. I was like, what do you think about that?
What do you think about that? One up. Come on.
So you can shoot out these platforms, jump on them, and it's really cool. Got some cool effects there. We've also got enemies talking, so they will taunt you. We've got the robotic pirates will shake their swords and threaten Ratchet when they see him. So that's really neat.
But only if you've turned the wind up key on their back 4 times.
Yes.
That was terrible. I'm sorry. Hey, go ahead. Keep going. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to go sit in the corner and watch the
obscure
monitor.
reference. We'll probably catch it maybe 20 minutes from now. Okay, and then we're putting in a lot of the kind of the bonus stuff, like skill points, various cheats. We've got Dan Johnson, who is a wonderful guy that everyone worked with. He was an old Insomniac, and he actually passed away last year. And so it's been an Insomniac tradition to put Dan in all of our games. And so he's shown up in the Spyro games on gold coins and as a Snow Dan in one of our Ratchet games. And so he's featured pretty prominently in this game. It's our tribute to him. And so then also we've been doing a lot of tuning work based off of our last focus test or play test in the middle of the month. And we've got some really good results looking at the weapon tuning, weapon balancing. We've got this enormous spreadsheet which has all of our numbers for every weapon and every upgrade level. And so that's quite a challenge to tune that. And then we've got all of our enemy strengths and the amount of power that they deliver. So we kind of go back and forth looking at our enemy combat setups and then the strengths of the weapons, and we just tune those numbers based on feedback from QA, from the focus tests, until we get it right. And then also we're reworking one of our enemy segments based off of some great feedback that we've gotten from Brian Hastings, our Chief Creative Officer. And he's kind of gives us a really nice overview of things that might be missing, some strategies that we may want to include. So that's some of the stuff we've been doing. But the game's coming together, and it's hard to believe. I just remember when we started in early pre-production over a year and a half ago. We just never thought this day was going to come, And we just thought, oh yeah, we just got all this time, and now here we're starting to wrap things up, and it's really exciting. But it's kind of scary just with all the details. So.
I was going to say, we have a big deadline tomorrow where essentially, I don't know if do you want to describe that and then...
Sure. We've got kind of really some big deadlines before our final gold date. And this one is where we've had all the features in the game for a while, but now it is adding a lot of that polish, fixing a lot of bugs and tuning stuff. And so that's really where we have to kind of tighten everything up. And we'll be showing more and more of the game to media over the next couple months, and being able to give some previews and some updates. So it's really where a lot of the polish, a lot of the gameplay comes together, and the game starts to really feel good and tuned.
How would I know you had a chance to look at some of the coverage since we met at the podcast last time after E3. What do you think overall of the media's perception so far of Ratchet and Clank Future? How accurate is it? And maybe just address how much more is still to come.
Sure. Everyone got a glimpse of the Metropolis demo, and that had, I think, a good sampling of kind of the level of detail and the kind of next-gen experience that we want to hit. And it's also got a combination of platforming and action. So I think people really responded well to it. And in particular, the Kotaku interview kind of made everyone smile here on how well people love that. And, sometimes there's some mixed reactions. I think there's still kind of the diehard skeptics, who are waiting to see more. But really, our whole goal with the game is to provide a very fun, challenging game with a lot of variety, and really just to create that truly amazing experience that we know all of our fans, are looking forward to seeing. And so I think people will be surprised with that level of variety that we have in store. And it really does feel like you're traveling to many different exotic planets, meeting these alien creatures, and just doing a lot of different things. And I think people really appreciate that.